welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're not new. My name is Mouse, sometimes Andy, and I talk about books and book-related things. And today, I'm going to be talking about Peter and the Starcatchers. Let's just get them. Peter and the Starcatchers. These books are written by Dave Barry, and they are part of my childhood rereads project that I am doing this year. If you are new here and you don't know what that is, basically I am rereading books that I enjoyed as a child or a teenager and judging my own taste and judging the writing now that I am able to form critical reading thoughts. I wouldn't go so far as to say I can perform critical reading thoughts, but anyway, Peter and the Starcatchers is essentially, the first three books, is essentially about Peter Pan and how he came to be as the Peter Pan that we know him. Instead of fairy dust making Peter be able to fly, what actually is happening is stardust. So I will say that this is going to be a spoiler-free review, and so I won't spoil anything. However, from the general covers and stuff from the other books, you can get the gist that Peter learned how to fly. The Starcatchers series is inherently about Peter and his relationship with a girl named Molly. Molly is Wendy's mother, but this is her at Wendy's age. So in the first book, they are aboard a ship, and the ship has this strange box, and it turns out that Molly is a part of many, many generations of what are called Starcatchers. The Starcatchers fight the quote-unquote others, and the others try to use stars and stardust to make themselves modern-day gods, basically, because it can give people superpowers of some kind. Molly has been training with her dad and Lord Astor and is an apprentice, and she happens to be on this boat with Peter, and you essentially get the backstory for Neverland, for Peter Pan, for all the Lost Boys, for how mermaids came to be, the natives on the island, and also how Hook became Hook, as well as Mr. TikTok, who is of course the alligator that we all know and love. Crocodile? Alligator? I'm not sure. You also find out how Tink came to be. Now, as you guys may love the Disney collection of books, Tinkerbell is not in the books. You guys may love the Disney edition of Tinkerbell. She is not a fairy, a part of many other fairies or anything like that. No Tinkerbell in the Hollow kind of situation, and Pixie Hollow kind of situation, but she does have the same attitude as the original Tinkerbell. I really enjoyed these books. I thought that it was a really unique way of retelling the original Peter Pan story. I can appreciate the nuances that went into it, especially as someone who reads quite a lot of retellings. I have seen retellings where they just take the general concepts and just throw the rest of the lore away. I've seen retellings that stick too closely to the lore, and so it loses its ability to be any kind of original story. And these books really found a way of finding a healthy balance between those two obstacles. When you get to the fourth book, Peter and the Sword of Mercy, you meet Wendy. And I don't like Wendy, and I've never liked Wendy, and if you heard my TBR where I talked about reading Peter and the Starcatchers back in February, I outright say that I hate Wendy. So the fourth book is about Wendy and her with Peter, and she is kind of annoying, and the way that Molly grows up is actually really incredibly disappointing. So I will say I hated the fourth book and don't think they should have written it at all. It was not at all in the original stylings of the first three books, and if you even listen to the author's notes at the end, they straight up say they had no intention of writing a fourth book. So this was supposed to be an original trilogy, and the Starcatcher series ends up having 5 books total. The fifth book I did end up reading, but it was not a reread for me because it came out in 2012, and when I was in high school I thought I couldn't read middle grade because I was an adult, you know? I was not an adult, but I didn't think that I was allowed to read middle grade. So that book is called Bridge to Neverland, and it's really interesting because it picks up hundreds of years later. It is in the modern day, so they have iPhones, they have Craigslist, they make use of Facebook and Find My Phone, and it's really interesting to see all of this technology and stuff. And then the two kids do end up going to Neverland, and so Captain Hook trying to figure out what a zipper is and what a digital clock is, those kinds of things was really amusing, and I felt like Bridge to Neverland really brought to life this older story in a more modern age, and I think they did a fantastic job of doing so. So basically, the fourth book, get rid of it completely and just have the Bridge to Neverland and then the other three books. I thought that the Bridge to Neverland really played on the fact that these first three books exist in the world and that they had read them and been obsessed with them. I thought that was really cool. And just Umbra, the quote-unquote bad guy, the bad shadow man, the shadow thieves, his whole thing as being an explanation for Peter's shadow that you see in the Disney movies was super cool. That's, again, not spoiling anything. I didn't explain how he's responsible for the shadow, but it was just really all very interesting and unique, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. This is actually a childhood rereads that I enjoyed and would probably purchase these books for myself. Obviously, I got them from the library because these have those like nice little library stickers on them, but and I read the audiobooks, used the audiobooks from my library or from Scribd, but these are all on Scribd, so if you want to listen to them, I do have a referral link down below, so you can get 2 months free of Scribd and get me a month free of Scribd, but then you can listen to these books. I think Dave Barry did a fantastic job with them, and I appreciated them quite a lot, like I said. Also, some of these books do have pictures in them. I at least know these three have pictures in them. I don't know if the first book and the last book do because I listened to them, but they do have pictures in them, which is really cool. I enjoy a middle grade that has pictures in it because I can't visualize, and so seeing things kind of laid out in that format is wonderful. It's really enjoyable for me. So this has been my childhood rereads. It is not nearly as amusing as when I reread a young adult book and hate it, and I know that, but thanks for joining me for my quick little review of this series. I don't generally just review, you know, one book and sit down and tell you about it, other than for this series, so it is fun to just kind of hyper-focus on one thing. If you enjoy this series and you want to hear more from me, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Comment down below if you read these books as a kid, or if you are now going to read these books because they're really good. And yeah, let me know if there's any childhood books you want me to check out. I have this year's schedule kind of planned out, but if there's any extra ones or ones that I want to read for a new experience, I will probably put them on my TBR. I really like rereading these books, so let me know down below. I'm gonna go. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, drink some water, hydrate, all of that. Hope you have a great and fantastic week. I will see you on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and again on next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for watching.
Underrated or forgotten childhood books. Peter and the Starcatchers series by Dave Barry. Peter and the Starcatchers is a retelling of the classic Peter Pan, where the first 3 books follow Molly, Wendy's mom, and Peter in the origin of Neverland. The magic comes from fallen stars, and Tink is just as feisty as ever.